Welcome into our overtime segment here at SportsSource.tv. Appreciate you joining us. As always, it's brought to you by my friends at Smokin' Joe's. Get down there and see Mike Hicks. If you enjoy a fine cigar, or if you have a cigar lover in your family, there's not a better place in terms of selection and price where the two meet. There's no better place than Smokin' Joe's. Two locations, the original store on Paper Mill and the newer store down in Alcoa with the big walk-in humidor. Smokin' Joe's. All right. Joined by Bob Hodge, Vince Ferrara, Josh Ward, Russell Smith down there. Want to talk quickly about the SEC media's view. Vince Ferrara with this topic. I'm going to give you credit. This is a Vince topic. Good topic. The media's view, the outside media's view of Tennessee. Now, during the show, we talked a little bit about how some of that's thumbnail sketch type stuff. You know, we know Tennessee better than we know Missouri, and Missouri people know Missouri better than they know Tennessee, et cetera. But thoughts on what those people around the conference think of Tennessee? What were you guys hearing down there?
I think it was a little bit of a mixed bag. There were some people that I heard from, especially from, say, Alabama and Florida markets, that have some skepticism still about Tennessee. I know there's this narrative that a lot of us have heard that, oh, Tennessee is always the spring national champion, and they're always with everyone's pick every year, and they disappoint, which is absolute nonsense. They haven't been picked to...
First time picked to win the East since 2005.
They haven't even been picked to finish higher than fourth since 2008. Think about that. Yeah. Tennessee has done exactly what's been expected of them. So I think there's a little bit of that, we're sick of hearing about Tennessee, that this is going to be the year. So I think, and plus Auburn being picked to win the conference last year, I think is added to some hold your brakes type of mentality. But I think it's still enough people, you saw it in the voting, even nationally, still do believe this Tennessee team is the most talented in the East. So it was a little bit of both to me.
Yeah, easily the majority believe that Tennessee's the pick. Obviously the results in the voting show that. But the questions I did hear were, okay, let's see it though before we really say that's what's going to happen. And that kind of makes sense too, especially with the Tennessee-Florida game. That's a pretty common answer in Knoxville is I'm going to need to see Tennessee in this streak. So I get that. But multiple times I heard, let's see what they can do in the fourth quarter. Let's see what Butch Jones can do in a big spot. Him and Mike DeBoer, they were both kind of questioned some. The hesitations, I think, pointed that way.
Yeah, I think that's what it is Butch Jones. I think most of the media people and even fans around the league kind of realize that Tennessee has a lot of talent. And Butch Jones, you won some games at Cincinnati, Central Michigan, and you've steadily built up your roster at Tennessee. But what are you going to do when it's 4th and 1 in the Florida game against Alabama in the fourth quarter? Are you going to make the right call? I think that's the question a lot of people have.
And I think he's set up to fail, personally, because here's the thing. A lot of people are saying 10-2. That's a goal. That's a pretty lofty goal. As we showed a few weeks ago, that doesn't happen. It's not like 5 teams in the SEC go 10-2 every year. That's a lofty goal. But the 2 he loses, he's going to get hammered for them. I don't care how they lose it. It'll be a sign that he can't get you to a higher level. You're going to hear that this year. Even if they go 10-2, win the East, hit their expectations, the people, some of the same people we talked about in the show who don't like the Butchisms, folks that didn't want him hired, they're going to be the ones that said, yeah, but in that loss against Alabama, what did he do at 3rd and 8 in the second quarter? Could have changed the game. So I think he's set up to fail in a lot of ways. But you're right. I'm not arguing with you. A lot of the questions do hinge on, you've got the talent, but you had the talent against Florida last year too. Let's see you prove it on the field.
And the year before.
Well,
arguably.
Yeah, I don't know. I'll say that nobody credited Florida's defense last year or the year before as much as it should have been credited, in my opinion. But anyway, your thoughts on Tennessee, the expectations. Does it change your opinion? The fact that everyone around the country is also coming in and kind of validating they look good.
No, I don't know which other way the media people could have actually gone. I think the questions about Tennessee and their history with Florida, their history with Alabama in the last decade, I mean, those are legitimate questions. The questions about Butch, there are legitimate questions surrounding Tennessee. Mm-hmm. But when you look at their roster, you look at the weaknesses of Florida's roster, you look at the weaknesses of Georgia's roster, you look at the weaknesses of the rosters of all the other teams in the East, I mean, Tennessee is about the only team that you settle on. But the question is, do you settle on them here and Florida's here, or is it more Tennessee's here and Florida's here with Georgia right under that. And that's where I come in at. I don't think Tennessee is going to run away with it, but I would pick Tennessee to win it as well.
Yeah, I pick them to win it. I don't pick them to run away with it.
Yeah.
I think because it's the SEC, I had this conversation with somebody yesterday, and it's like, well, every year we sit there and watch Vandy take somebody to the wire, or we see Missouri upset somebody. The idea that, well, Tennessee, the only ones they got to worry about are these four. The other four are just going to roll over and die. We see every year that South Carolina last year, you don't strip the guy late. I don't know how that ends. So the idea that these will be cakewalks, there won't be a lot of cakewalks in the SEC this year.
Yeah, just one little clarification on what I said earlier. It's prior to last year they hadn't been picked higher than fourth. They were picked second in the SEC last year.
And
East,
and did exactly that. So.
Let me ask you this. Tennessee got 9 players on the All-SEC teams. Only Alabama and LSU had more. Alabama had 13, LSU had 10, Tennessee had 9. Is that more a product of the recruiting that Butch Jones has done? Or, as we suggested during the show, is that more a product of, well, Tennessee's supposed to be good, so I'm supposed to put more guys on the All-SEC team from them? The 9 guys on the All-SEC roster, are you saying, no, that's legit, look how he's recruited? Or are you saying, no, they're picked to finish high, so a bunch of people just went, I got to have another Tennessee guy?
No, I think it's legit, and we talked about this at media days with a lot of the Tennessee players, especially Dobbs, Sutton, and Reeves-Maben, that these guys were brought in, and they're the core of this class now. You have your juniors and your seniors, and they've really developed together. So this is guys that have been around, have been on the field, a lot of them played early. So there's that name recognition now for more of the players. So I think it's legit with the players they have.
If I was going to quibble with it, I would quibble, like I said, about Trevor Daniel. I think some of these guys could actually be bumped up a little bit.
Go back and look at the recruiting rankings. I mean, the 2015 class was top 5. The 2014 class was top 10. They should have a significant number of players on these teams.
Yeah, Josh Dobbs, remember, he was flipped right before signing day. He was committed to Arizona State, and Butch Jones in his first class flipped him there. So it's a whole collection. I think there is a benefit of the doubt that does go to the teams that you expect to be good.
Yes.
But I think it is legitimate because Tennessee could have had one of a few offensive linemen selected, and they all would have been signed by Butch Jones.
Yeah, see, I think that it's like 90%. He's loaded the place with talent. That's part of the job. He didn't get a lot of credit for it, but he's done it. But about 10% of it is just, well, everybody thinks they're going to be good, so I got to put more and more guys on there because I think they're going to be good.
Yeah, if you're looking at a lineman from Alabama or LSU versus Mississippi State or Auburn, Bama, LSU probably get a benefit of the doubt. Tennessee versus Missouri or Vanderbilt, Tennessee probably gets a bump as well.
Exactly. Russell, Josh, Vince, Bob, thank you guys very much. I appreciate you being here today.
Thank you.
And appreciate you joining us here on SportsSource.tv. Check us out next Sunday, 11 a.m., WATE 6 for the Sports Source. Thank you very much.